So let's get to the obvious question first. How's the tour going?
The tour's going great. The show's been huge. It's Jarret's favorite band.
My favorite band.
The Pears is your favorite band?
Probably.
Oh, no.
Yeah. No, NOFX.
For sure.
Youth Society's been awesome too. Hanging out with them. It's been super fun so far.
Modern Terror played in Vancouver. Belvedere here. Got really lucky with good opening bands. It's really, 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 really solid tour.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah, you guys are from New Orleans. I mean, I think it's fair to say punk rock's, and maybe this is just me being ignorant, but punk rock's not what New Orleans is famous for.
We're the most famous punk band from New Orleans.
I guess, yeah. But there's mostly most of the bigger bands that come out of there are like metal bands, like I Hate God and Thou and stuff, and like a billion of them. But for punk bands, there's only like a couple that really tour at all, like us, this other band Donovan Wolfington.
Oh, I know.
That's really it. A couple other ones, but
I
there's
saw-
good bands. They just don't tour much.
I saw a band there at, I think the place is called Siberia.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were all in drag. I don't know if you guys know them or not. I don't know. It's pretty
Not
random.
sure.
I could be making this all up. It was New Orleans. I was probably like Courtney Love drunk. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you.
So with being a band from New Orleans, I mean, does that kind of standard New Orleans music, does that inform any of your guys' music at all?
Brian's going to answer all these questions because I'm from Philly.
I guess
I should have done a little bit better research.
I guess the I don't know, accepting like any genre, kind of goes into effect with us in the way we write songs, and just having grown up listening to all the weird music that comes from New Orleans and just having to accept it as part of the culture, we didn't really get to choose whether or not we'd hear it because like Mardi Gras is a thing and
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Zach's background also.
Yeah, Zach's grandpa played the trumpet and stuff, and his mom and dad are all musicians, and they do their thing. But so it's definitely influenced us, at least maybe not on purpose, but definitely has.
So do you guys come from musical families then?
Yeah, Zach especially does. My brother was a professional musician for a while too. Jarret? I
Yeah.
think so.
Well, my mom doesn't play anything. My dad played marching band all through school and stuff. He played sousaphone in marching band. Can you fucking believe that, having to carry that giant thing? But he plays like a bunch of different horn instruments and piano and little guitar and stuff. So it's a little there.
Yep.
So you're from Philly, you said?
I was born in New York. I
Oh.
lived in Philly for my adult life. So when people ask, I say Philly.
Ah.
So.
And
New York, Philly.
how'd you hook up with Pears then?
So they were in a band called the Lollies. They kicked Brian out right before they went on the tour that came to Philly. So that's where I met Zach and the original bassist Alex. They played with my band up there, and then we just got along great. They went home, broke up, started Pears, came back. We played with them again, and then a couple weeks later, I got the call, "We're kicking out our drummer. You want to come move to New Orleans and join the band?" And I did.
Nice.
Yeah, it worked out pretty good.
So what's your feeling about New Orleans? A big musical town, being from Philly.
It's cool. It's not for me, that's for sure. Being from the Northeast, like this weather we're in right now, like I love the winter. I'm actually moving back to Philly. We're at the point now where I can actually afford to live there and then meet up before tours and come back and practice and stuff. Culturally, it's amazing. When I first moved there, I definitely tried to really get out there and see a lot of different kinds of music and stuff. But man, that heat just really, really got to me fast. It definitely sucks. I mean, I love the city because that's where I was able to meet these guys, and I mean, I lived there for about 2 years, so it's definitely a cool place. Not really for me though.
So Pears, I mean, when I first heard that name, I was like, sorry, what is it?
Before our band started, our singer Zach took mushrooms for the first time, but he did like every day for like a week. And the first time with our now bass player Eric Goodyear, and the first time he took it, he had such a good time. Eric was like holding up these bananas in the air, and Zach was like, "Everything's so great. It's like we're orbiting the banana sphere." And then like a week later, he had this like terrible life-altering trip that was just like a living nightmare. And he told Eric about it, and he's like, sounds like you were going through the pear sphere, not the banana sphere, because nobody likes pears. Those are disgusting. And so it became like a slang thing for stuff that's bad and scary. And so, it's not a good band name.
But an inside joke that just went way too far.
We finally got a band name, which is the hardest part about the whole band.
So did you go through lots of different names before you settled on Pears?
Not necessarily. We've had Gilmore guys.
That's good.
Cum 41. Stained spelled right. There's like and then we were originally going to name the band Bottle Kids, but there was already a band from Chicago named that, so we didn't.
Okay. Fair enough.
Pears it is.
Pears.
I mean, Zach just put out a solo record.
It's
maybe
awesome.
Not as easy for a drummer to do unless you're Travis Barker.
Yeah, probably still will never do that.
Yeah. Is that a plan for yourself at all, Brian?
Me?
Nah.
No. No, I'm not much of a lyrics guy. Zach is definitely, but not me. So I wouldn't have much to write about.
Put out an album just of riffs.
I'll make a whole solo
Just
album just of sick riffs. Sick palm muting riffs. Really fast. It'll be for the nerds only.
So have you guys have been to Calgary once before, right? Like,
yeah.
I think you guys played
Sled
Palomino.
Fest.
Yeah, Sled Fest, right. So did you guys have any preconceptions about Calgary or coming to Calgary, like maybe your
Just
first time?
watching hockey when I was a kid. I mean, I knew the city existed.
Yeah.
I'd never been here.
There's not a lot of reason to come here.
Preconceptions. It was a cool city. I mean, we definitely had a lot of fun at that festival. It lived up to we love Canada as a whole. We always have such a good time when we come up here. So just being able to come to a new city that we hadn't been to was great.
And we met Chris that day.
We met Chris that day. We went to the top of that tower.
Yeah.
That was pretty great.
It's the Calgary Tower.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that's the name they gave it.
They put a lot of thought into that name.
That's a really hard one to think of.
Are you a hockey fan as well?
No, not really. I'm strictly.
I'm not a hockey fan.
Okay, you just followed Philly because you lived in Philly?
I played hockey when I was a kid for like a year. And I liked it when the Flyers were in the playoffs in 2009. That's the extent of my hockey watching.
Okay.
And I'm strictly a New Orleans Saints fan. I'm not a fan of much else.
Okay. Just because you're from New Orleans?
I just don't have time, for
Yeah.
other sports. I just don't have the time to dedicate to that.
Well, it's funny. Our most recent episode, so we did a top five songs about sports, and
Was Isotopes in it?
oh, was we're in Canada, man.
Low-hanging
Was
fruit.
all of it Isotopes?
Chicks Dig It was in it. Propaganda was in it.
That's awesome.
But within the conversation, I mean, historically, punk rock's not been something that you would consider synonymous with sports.
Yeah.
And I think that, it's kind of evolved as maybe punk rock has gotten older and people chilled out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you see that too? Like being, sports fans?
Yeah, I mean, like half the guys we tour with are sports fans. It's just it just depends on the band, really. But and then having sports themed merch is cool too. I see that a lot of times, and I think that's rad. With jerseys and stuff, and I don't think it's like embarrassing or like a jock thing to be into sports at all, like it used to be for punk rockers. Like, oh, you like football? You must be a jock that would beat me up. But like, I played football. I had a blast. It was like just as fun as playing a show.
Right.
I mean, Ryan Young still calls me jock fuck. But
jock fuck.
Jock fuck. Yeah. Got some T-shirts printed.
Plays football all day.
Does he do that?
Yeah, he wins money.
Yeah.
He
I
wins
mean,
money.
I used to get shit when I was younger for liking sports and punk rock. I love sports. I used to be a sports writer for a little bit in Philly too. Not so much anymore. It's definitely toned down a bit. You get to talk about it more with people, but just a couple of years ago, it's like, how could you listen to punk rock and like sports? I don't know. It's another thing.
Yeah.
I sort of had that experience. That's basically I got made fun of my whole life growing up by the jocks and the punks because I didn't fit in either way.
Punks are the jocks now.
Yeah, I guess, Look at them all fit and stuff these days.
So just in
Guys
terms
doing
of
yoga.
NOFX being your favorite band, I mean, what's that like to get to tour with your favorite band?
It's the best thing in the world. I mean, it's just surreal hanging out with them and seeing them every day. Just the fact that I can stand on the stage and watch them from behind Smelly every day. It's like that's all I wanted to do when I was a kid. Just be able to do that as much as I could and now do it on a whole tour.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, NOFX is notoriously pretty big party guys.
Yeah.
Is it tough to keep up? Or are you guys pretty seasoned?
Maybe for them.
I was gonna say he's from
you guys
New
are from New
Orleans.
Orleans. Sorry, my bad.
No, I think we can party on an equal level. I think that we've had like enough of our spirit taken out of us that we can party just as hard for just as long, or at least stay awake.
Yeah.
But they do party pretty hard.
I mean, you guys are at a point in Pears' career where, you've got to tour a lot, right? Like, you guys are on the road a lot. And for somebody who just got married, congratulations, by the way. I mean, what's that like, in terms of maintaining relationships and things like that?
Well, we were dating, like, before the band was a band, so I think that once the band happened, she already knew that that's what I wanted to do anyway. So she had just spent her time just preparing and mentally for that, I guess, so being apart for months at a time wasn't that hard. I mean, it was tough, of course, not being able to talk sucks, but then we enjoy our company like twice as much when I'm home, and it's awesome. I wouldn't trade it for anything else. It's the coolest. We've been married for like almost a month, but I've only been there for the first week of it.
Okay.
Because the day I got home from our honeymoon, we left for this tour.
Okay.
But it's okay. We got like a few months off coming up, so we do all kinds of stuff.
So what do you guys do then in your off time? Like now
Sit
that you're
on my
touring,
porch and smoke cigarettes and hang out with my family.
Yeah, we haven't taken. Well, I don't know exactly how long we're taking off, but we've been on tour pretty much for like 2 years straight, a couple weeks off here and there.
Holy
so this
shit.
is the longest we'll have off. So like I'm gonna move back to Philly.
I might get divorced.
Hey, you gotta have goals, right?
Just find some semblance of balance again in your life. And I mean, we'll be writing stuff and recording stuff. I'm gonna be flying down to New Orleans all the time whenever we need to write stuff or whatever. But just lay low and just relax and I don't know.
Recharge to do it again.
Yeah.
Is that easier nowadays? I mean, I would imagine it is when you don't maybe have all the band members living in the same city where, you can kind of share demos and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. And like, that's how, like, when I joined the band, I was still up there. So, like, I had to learn all the songs and, just sending riffs back and forth and stuff. So, and Brian writes everything on his computer. So it's really easy to just send ideas back and forth. And that shouldn't be an issue at all. And, flights between New Orleans and Philly are really cheap. So I'll be back there all the time.
Maybe just talk a little bit about you guys have done a lot of touring now. Are there bands? I'm sure there are, but what are some of those bands that you guys would love to tour with still?
Rancid.
Yeah.
Rancid. We don't know anybody from Rancid, and we give shout outs to that band like all the time, like in our merch and in our lyrics and stuff, and they can't believe they haven't hit us up yet.
I'll hook you up.
They help me out.
I don't have any hookups.
Damn it. The Dickies, Bad Religion, Pennywise would be cool. The Vandals, the Descendants,
Descendants want to tour this.
That'll happen eventually. Hopefully. Yeah, if we don't die.
That'll definitely happen.
Yeah. I mean, anybody that wants to do it, really, it's going to be fun. Culture Abuse. Fuck, they're good. Sorry, I don't know if I can curse.
Yeah, of course.
Fuck.
I just heard about them on a podcast from the Touche Amore dude was talking.
They're good too.
They had just toured with them.
Who's Dead to Me?
Dead to Me.
So there's a few.
Propaganda, yeah.
Do you guys get a lot of bands in New Orleans, like traveling through?
Not really, but a lot of bands skip New Orleans because it's a tough city, It's hard to get people to go out to a show, and then there's only there's 200 kids that'll definitely go to a show on any given day if there's not a bunch of other shows already going on. So it's tough to spread that small community thin for multiple shows, But I mean, the bands that do come through get a good time, for sure. You just gotta plan it right for it to go well there,
Yeah.
But we get bands, they come through every couple tours, But a lot of time they pass it up too. But that just builds more suspense for when they actually do.
Just a few questions left. It's something that I've wanted to ask a younger band, because I mean, you guys seem younger.
27.
Guys, 27. Okay.
26.
And you guys have probably been doing this for most of your adult life, right?
Yeah.
And so, is that thought process in your mind, when and if this kind of comes to an end? I think about bands like the Flatliners, who kind of started when they were 7.
Too.
Yeah, another great band. They started when they were like 17, right? So
Yeah.
they've had no adult life outside
They had no
of
member
punk
changes
rock.
either.
And no
That's
member
crazy.
changes, yeah. And you guys have had 2, right?
3.
3.
Third drummer, third bassist.
Oh, wow. So
Or I guess that means 6.
6.
Whatever.
it's quick math. So, I mean, is that ever at the back of your mind, like when and if this comes to an end, where am I going to be? What am I going to do kind of thing?
Sometimes, but really, I mean, I don't think we're not the kind of band that would like break up and then be like, "Fuck you! I don't ever want to talk to you again." We would probably just start another band with the same people, which we're gonna do anyway.
Are we?
But we're not gonna break up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really think about that
Multiple bands
that
or
much.
something.
I mean, I know, like, who knows
in the
who knows the lifespan of Pears. I mean, hopefully it'll go on for a really long time. But like, I know I always want to be playing drums with whoever I can. So I think about that. I mean, like I said before, it's just about finding balance. And I think if you can balance adulthood and having a normal life with being on the road all the time and stuff, I think that's the key. And at least for me personally, that's something that's important, because you can only be on the road for so long. But I definitely never want to stop doing it.
Yeah, agreed.
So when you guys do go back home and have some time to recharge, are there jobs you go back to, or what does that look like?
Sometimes. Well, Zach sometimes can get a bike delivery job. Eric can sometimes go work at a pizza shop or at another restaurant. And sometimes I can go work in a warehouse that my dad owns, but it sucks. So we've never really had like a long break where we had to get a job because there's no income. This will be the first time.
I never had to work in between stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
So far, but when I moved back to Philly, do some stuff, just working at venues and stuff, like with my friends, running punk shows and stuff.
I'm gonna start robbing little old ladies.
It's a good gig.
You have to give me some tips. I don't know if I can do it.
Do you have a cover letter ready for that job?
A whole resume. I'm ready to apply. But yeah, no, I'm gonna figure something out. I'm gonna just call Jarret every day and ask him if he found me a job yet.
So are you guys looking forward to the rest of the tour? I don't think Winnipeg's going to be this warm.
Oh yeah, I think it doesn't matter how hot or cold it's gonna be. It's gonna be blazing hot inside.
I fucking love the cold. I wish it would snow. I love it. After being in New Orleans for so long, oh my god, this winter I can't come soon enough. I'm ready for snow.
Jarrett's the only bird
You don't hear that a
flies
lot
north
here.
for the winter.
What'd you say?
You don't hear that a lot here.
No,
No.
definitely not here. I mean, spend some time in New Orleans. You'll be begging for this weather again.
Really hot.
So our podcast is all about kind of top 5 lists. It's kind of like a poor man's version of High Fidelity, if you will.
Okay, that's cool.
So if you guys could, just your top 5 bands that you're listening to right now.
Me? I'll go first. We got Culture Abuse is awesome. Kvelertak is really good. Who else? Shit, I need to pause. You do too.
Okay. Mannequin Pussy, Hop Along, both from Philly. Some of my really good friends, amazing bands. Culture Abuse is definitely on that list.
Back to me with Chicks Dig It. I just got into them because of Chris.
You just got into them. They've
Well,
been
yeah.
around like 25 years.
I know, I
Like
know.
almost
Older
as
than
old
us.
as
I
you.
never knew. I stayed at his house one time a couple months ago, and he's like, "What? Are you serious? You gotta listen to him now."
I think you're label mates too.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be here tonight, apparently too.
Oh yeah.
And then Jarret, what do you got?
I only started listening to Dead to Me like 2 months ago, so I've just been listening to Cuban Ballerina just all the time.
Have you heard the new EP?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
It's awesome, eh?
Yeah, they're so good. We just got to see them at Fest too.
Oh, nice.
With Jack back in the band. Oh, they're so amazing. You got another one?
The new Descendants album is amazing. And also, I got back on the Dickies. I'm like obsessed with them. And I think that's 5.
That would be 5.
I don't know what he's writing something. Oh, Pup, yeah, Pup rules too. Their new album is awesome.
Another
Holy shit.
Canadian band.
Yep, Canada's kicking ass. Way to go, guys.
That new album is really good.
What else have I been listening to? Podcasts. I listen to podcasts
No one does that.
all day in the van. And I still listen to NOFX, even though we're on tour with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like the new album, the new record?
Yeah.
Did you find it different? Like we kind of had a chat about that just the
Definitely
sound of it
sounds
was different.
Yeah. And Smelly has a drum solo in it.
Yeah.
Which was, I normally, as a drummer, I fucking hate drum solos. But, it was cool to hear Smelly pull one off.
Yeah.
In that record.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
and I think anyone would argue Smelly's probably one of the most iconic drummers in punk rock.
Yeah, he's
So-
like the single most influential drummer
Sure.
that I've ever listened to, and I got to tell him that, which is crazy.
Do you tell him every day?
I try to keep it down a little.
Every
I
second?
told him in the beginning, and now I'm just trying to get him to go out to breakfast with me because he just like runs inside, plays the show, and then leaves. I'm like, can we spend some time together, man? I want to get to know you.
Really trying
Hey.
to be best friends.
I'm trying. I'm
Yeah.
already best friends with Dave Ron from Lagwagon. Now I just got to get Smelly.
Maybe just pass him a note in the car. Get something
All right,
like, my friend
I
likes
texted
you.
him, but he has an iPhone, but his iMessaging for some reason doesn't work in Canada, so I have to turn off airplane mode and so I'm just gonna wait till we get back to the
Sounds
States
like
and
a
then
nightmare.
figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. But what's that like? Like you said, getting to stand behind him, of all people, and just watch that. I mean, I'm sure you
It's
tried to
the most
make
beautiful thing
your
in the
drums
world.
sound like that at one point.
Yeah.
In your
Yeah, everything I take my foot and my the way he plays hi-hat definitely is all Smelly. My fills are from Dave Ron, and I'm just everything that I learned from listening to punk rock, just totally just combine those two dudes. And it's crazy, and they might even be letting me play a song with them on this tour, so
shit.
yeah, this whole thing is just fucking out of control.
So do you guys, just lastly, do you guys have anything coming up, anything in the works? Do you guys write on the road at all, or?
Brian does.
A little bit. It's been hard on this one because there's just nowhere to
Got
be
that
alone.
Sweet new computer.
Yeah, my band bought me a new computer
Wow.
for my wedding because mine got stolen or lost in Europe.
That's kind of shitty.
Yeah, but yeah, we got a few riffs in the works on the road right now, but most of the stuff will come out when we get home, just when we can send riffs back and forth and piece them together, at my house or at Zach's house or something. But yeah, we'll have 18 new albums next year and
18?
45 tours.
Awesome.
You can expect
I
that.
bet Mike will be happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make him a bazillionaire.
Guys, thanks so much for doing
Dude,
this.
thank
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you
it.
very much.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, dudes.
Enjoy the cold weather.
Very nice.